What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Straight Edge Wrestling This Week in Wrestling podcast, July 25th edition. This is had a lot of wrestling this week. Extreme Rules kicked off, the horror show at Extreme Rules kicked off the week. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that's some good wrestling, right?
Right. I think some very good matches, some very dodgy finishes.
Kind of. Well, there's one finish that no one actually still understands what the hell's going on. We don't know if there's a certain person dead or not. So we'll get there.
Yes. I think to be fair, the whole of Extreme Rules was actually a very good card. I think the New Day versus Cesaro and Shinsuke was a fantastic match, and
that's probably the best match on the freaking show.
Yeah, although, and I agree, that's probably may actually be the strongest match on the show. It was the worst match according to Dave Meltzer. He gave it 2.5 stars as opposed to the 4 stars.
What the fuck does Dave Meltzer know?
Yeah, he. I thought it was great, and I loved the finish to it. So I mean, I know we know Kofi got injured, but I like the finish. I thought it was great.
Yeah, but is the actual injury just story-written injury?
Yeah, story-written injury. The WWE title match I really liked with Drew and Dolph, and I thought the stipulation was smart. It made Dolph look smart.
We finally had an Extreme Rules match on Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
Yeah, with that. Yeah, it actually made a heel look smart for once, which is rare.
Yeah, but now unfortunately, though, this time around it backfires on. But we'll get to that part.
Yeah, and what else we had? We had the Sasha and Bailey sort of the mess thing that happened.
Well, the Smackdown women's title, that's just going to be the Sasha and Bailey's way of doing things. It's a shame on Nikki Cross, and she's got another shot coming up. But
yeah,
and then, but I think part of their way anyway was how they finished. Because we talked about this the other day, but I thought more about it afterwards. I think it was one of those things once again to try and see if they could try and get more people to want to tune in for Raw. Don't think it worked. That weren't really going to help. I don't think anything is going to help there at the minute. Especially if you've got this thing called the internet and people do stuff dodgy.
They figured that if they left it on a cliffhanger in all different matches, that people would want to tune in, and it kind of it didn't work.
I didn't quite mind the ending. I quite like how it's going to happen because it makes round wrestling next week, especially in the women's division, very interesting. But we'll get to that part soon again.
I think I'm fine with the ending to an extent. Other than I think the problem being that we had loads of dodgy finishes that it sort of made some of them feel a bit weird. We had
the Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, and Eye for an Eye match. It's not so much of a dodgy ending. It's just an ending that doesn't make sense with how his eye. You blew his eye up before with it. How does it now pop the eyeball out?
Yeah,
and have the dodgy fake where he's like.
Oh, that was so ridiculous. We had the spot with the kendo stick where he's trying to jab it in his eye. That would have worked. That would have made much more sense than the thing we'd already seen. The thing about that which got me, and the thing with that match I really enjoyed. The last 90 seconds was a bit what do you call it? The Seth throwing up was a bit bizarre.
If be honest, him sorry was actually quite a good touch.
It was a good little thing, but it would have worked
it's
better.
Unfortunately, if you hadn't already done a move where you kind of blew the guy's eye up before, now apparently it pops his eyeball out. Who the fuck's gonna believe that?
And the thing about that, which was even worse, was the fact that then the next night on Raw they kind of just dismiss it. Oh no, Ray's going to be fine. It's like, great. We literally saw him holding his own eyeball, but he's going to be fine.
Don't worry, they dismissed a lot of things. Because let's be honest, they're waiting to find out where Braun Strowman is and if he's alive.
Yes,
but we'll get to that.
And then the swamp match happened, and it started off pretty rough. From a production standpoint.
I was going to get a bit nervous on the first fight where Braun fought the first two. Because the ones that I was like, no, we're not having the whole shaking and thing. You can't.
Yeah.
But then it stopped afterwards.
Yeah. The shaky cam stopped. The camera cuts didn't stop, and that was driving me insane. Like so much. That kind of got better towards it a bit more.
After watching so much WWE stuff, I've kind of got used
to it, which is so ridiculous, right? That you kind of just get conditioned to accept it now.
I just can't accept the fact, because it's like, I'll quickly jump to SmackDown when it comes to Sheamus and Jeff Hardy for the bar fight. Once again, it started off with the. I was like, I'm not having. This could be something freaking amazing. You could ruin it because of I can't see technically what's going on.
They like to add that like shaky cam. I mean, we talked about it last week, but they like to add that shaky cam to try and make it seem a bit more aggressive and make it seem like there's a lot more action happening.
Blair Witch?
Yeah, but it doesn't work. It just comes off amateurish.
The only time I can accept fucking shaky cam, and this is the same kind of thing that I accepted in that, is when something suddenly kicks off and the fucking bloke's got to run with the camera.
Yeah, or
unless it's been kicked or thrown or thinking hurting him and the camera's going flying.
Yeah, I agree. Unless the referee's in with the action. Yeah, you're right.
Other than that, it's just pointless.
So the Fiend popped up at the end. We finally got the Fiend back. We don't know what the hell's happened to Braun.
We still don't fully know who won the match.
No,
not even the WWE website can clear this up for me. It just says the WWE website resurfaces for the Stomp match.
Yeah, I think by all intents and purposes, Bray won, but officially there isn't actually a ruling on it on WWE.com. Who knows?
Well, if I'm going by this, I think the Fiend won, and he wasn't even part of the match.
That's true. Yeah, very true. So, Raw.
Alexa Bliss got to make.
Oh yeah, Alexa Bliss. Yeah, Alexa Bliss.
It's like people put it up on YouTube about Alexa Bliss being Sister Abigail. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's not even how they sound.
Yeah, they've explained the Raw and Alexa Bliss thing many times on television. But yeah, no, Raw. I thought it was a pretty good show. So there's a news which came out of Raw about. I've got a couple of questions actually, but one of them was that they were rewriting Raw right up until the moment in which they started filming it. So
was that a Vince McMahon decision again?
Yeah, by the sound. Well, Vince and Brucey. So they decided essentially to rip up most of it after there was some negative backlash to certain parts of Extreme Rules. So they decided to rewrite it all again moments before they went live. And because certain people weren't available, there was actually, according to the Wrestling Observer, there was actually supposed to be a reformation of the Nation of Domination on Raw.
Is that why Ron was running around there?
That was why Ron Simmons was actually there, because they planned to do that. And then they figured maybe now's not the right time, because WWE is not exactly tactful with race issues or anything like that whatsoever. So they kind of.
Does that mean Dwayne Johnson could have showed up?
I think that Dwayne Johnson's staying far away.
Oh, really? How can you kind of form that? Even like D'Lo Brown's part of Impact.
No, I mean, so it seems like they were going to do it with like MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin or someone else, but it seemed like that was going to be the original plan, that Ron Simmons was going to be there to help them form a new nation.
They've already got a name.
Yeah, but it was dropped anyway because they obviously figured that it wasn't the right time. But it then kind of explains why Ron Simmons was just randomly there at the show. Like, because when he was there, I was like, what is Ron Simmons doing here, just randomly talking to people? But yeah, makes sense. Also, Mustafa Ali made his return.
Yeah, no one mentioned that all of a sudden that Raw's done a trade.
Yeah, just forget that again.
No, I'm not going to forget it.
But also,
how come SmackDown get these extra trade things and Raw?
But this adds,
SmackDown's being robbed.
This adds another question, right? In that we had the hacker on SmackDown for months, just dropped out of nowhere, completely dropped, and
it clearly was signed the contract. That's why.
Yeah, it was clearly going to be Mustafa Ali. They were using his logo in it and all that, but they just dropped the hacker thing. Mustafa was being healthy to return for months, and he just didn't. But I'm glad he's back. He looked good.
What, a bit of steroid abuse, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot bigger. since
Thing
he's
is,
been
you
gone.
kind of knew he was actually coming back this time because his Twitter blew up, especially with him in pictures in the gym
Yeah,
over like
yeah,
last week.
yeah.
So you
So
got Drew and Dolph again.
yeah, so we had Dolph Ziggler interrupting Drew after Drew said he wants a worthy opponent for SummerSlam.
Yeah, but I quite like how as his music hit, Drew was like, "You're not worthy of opponent. I just beat you."
Yeah, I literally just beat you yesterday. Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know if we are actually getting another Drew Dolph, or
well,
they're going somewhere else.
Well, no, we are definitely going to get Drew and Dolph thing because
Yeah,
they've stated that we're doing a stipulation match for it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know if they're going to pull a swerve and then put it on earlier and not put it on SummerSlam or what, because they are still also teasing on WWE.com about Drew finding a worthy opponent. So,
It would be quite nice to have like a heavyweight title have a story that goes more than a month.
I completely agree. I completely agree.
And after their match at Horror Show, why not? It was a great match.
Yeah, I agree, and I like the idea of him doing the exact same thing to Dolph that he did to him.
Yeah.
Of I'm going to make you wait for it. I like that. I hope they do actually carry it through to SummerSlam and don't just drop it earlier.
I do hope they put him and Bobby Lashley against one another again because that's the storyline I really wanted to see go longer because these two could tear each other apart.
Yeah, it's weird. Dolph seems to be getting what Bobby probably should have got. You know, he should.
Well, I'm hoping they might do the John Cena Edge thing, where let's be honest, they kept their rivalry going for three years.
Yeah, bring them back in
through certain bits. They'd have 2-3 months battling somebody else, and then for the next 6 months they're battling one another.
Yeah. So we also had Ruby Riott defeating Peyton Royce. So Ruby Riott actually won a match. I know. Yeah, Iconic picks up a loss.
It's because Billie Kay wasn't there. She's the backbone of the team.
Yeah, I don't know where she was because she wasn't actually.
They did mention, they mentioned her on TV that she was absent doing something.
Yeah, I knew they mentioned it, but I don't know why. I've not heard like if she tested positive or what. Why she was randomly gone. See, that's another point actually, which should have mentioned before with that Extreme Rules. Apollo Crews, obviously tested positive for COVID and wasn't at Extreme Rules, and so MVP just sort of took the title. And now we're going to have some kind of story between MVP and Apollo trying to get the title back. But they've made it very clear that MVP is not the champion.
I don't know why not. If I'm honest, he has every right to claim himself as champion.
Yeah,
I know it's kind of one rule, you know, that 30-day stipulation sticks for any Continental title. But then the United States title you can have for as long as you want and never defend it.
The thing is, with that 30-day, the thing is that 30-day rule is, I feel like they just use it whenever they feel like it because it's very rarely used because champions.
When they have a foreigner with the title that says he's not coming into work because he might get killed.
Huh? Who?
Sami Zayn.
Oh right, yeah. I was like, what? Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking foreigner. Oh yeah, Canadian. Yeah. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, it's true. Like he does it, and then they kept it on Andrade when he was suspended
and
injured. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. The thing is that what would have made much more sense is if they just made they said, "Oh, MVP is your new champ," and Apollo comes back and goes after it. Like
yes,
that makes sense.
Have exactly how it happened. Yeah. Horror Show MVP gets claimed because his opponent can't. There you go, boom. Bob Joffa get an answer. And when Apollo's ready to come back, send him answer.
Yeah. So the show closed on Raw with an unsanctioned match, Randy Orton against the Big Show. I quite liked the match. I know lots of people were shitting on it. I quite liked it. It was what it was. You're never going to get a classic out of Big Show in 2020, I don't think. But I think Randy Orton is maybe doing his best in-ring work ever right now.
Well, yeah. Well, the match was what it was. Let's be honest. A lot of giants never have a 5-star match.
No, exactly.
But Big Show did his part. He beat the crap out of Orton at the beginning. Other people got involved. Randy Orton did a bit to him. Big Show then managed to come back, pick her out a bit more, and then all of a sudden Randy Orton managed to do his find his lucky charm. And
He'd done the RKO and then he punted him. No Ric Flair in Randy Orton's corner because Ric Flair's wife has COVID. So, after everyone's been saying about Ric Flair shouldn't be at the WWE Performance Center anyway, his wife gets it. It says everything. No, I like that.
It's one thing about Ric Flair. You can't kill that man.
No, literally, he's been in a freaking plane crash. He's been in the ICU for months. Yeah, he COVID ain't taking him.
No, it should be a heart attack doing a promo. If I'm honest.
Yeah. Just that'd be the best way to go out if he just sort of keels over mid promo.
Mid probably never had one while doing a promo.
Seeing how he goes so red, like him versus Jay Lethal, when he's getting so red, like in the face. And they have no.
Because he was against anyone doing a promo, he just loses his thing like so. It doesn't. Calm down. It's just a fucking promo.
Yeah. No, I like it. I'm wondering. I'm wondering where they're going to go with Randy Orton, the legend killer, from here. What legend they can go from here?
I'm hoping that Christian can get a chance on coming back and kicking the shit out of him a little bit.
If Edge isn't ready for SummerSlam, I wouldn't mind Christian getting his farewell match sort of thing, which he never got at SummerSlam against Randy. That'd be kind of cool.
Bring Mick Foley along, he can get the crap out of Ric Flair. He's in the corner.
Yeah, as long as it's not Hogan, it's fine. So AEW on Wednesday. I'm going to say
actually, can we go thing one? I think we kind of skipped something a little bit on Raw, which jumps forward to the next week. Basically, about the women's championship match to clear up.
Yes, of course. Yeah, so the women's championship match. Stephanie McMahon makes a rare appearance on the screen and says that
I haven't seen her in ages.
Says next week we're going to have Asuka versus Sasha Banks, and the winner of that match it becomes the WWE Women's Champion. And it doesn't matter if it's disqualification, count out, or anything. Whoever.
Basically, you can't win anyway. If you get disqualified, you lose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All for that. That's a nice little stipulation. Matches meaning something. I like that. That's good.
So
yeah, I'm all for it. Let's say when the finish happened at Extreme Rules, I was like, ugh, that's stupid. I like they've made sense of it, and they knew that people shit on it, so they kind of they turned it and they changed their original plans into something quite cool.
Stephanie definitely did good for once.
Stephanie did good, yeah. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, no, she's back. God, no, she's back.
I was like, holy shit, there's Stephanie. I haven't seen you in ages. Let's do this shit. See how it goes. You can only go one of two ways.
Yeah.
You can either be really good, or everyone's going to go hyper and shit on everything that Stephanie does.
Yeah. There's no in between with Stephanie. Yeah.
Stephanie did good.
Yeah. So AEW Dynamite. I'm going to say it was my show of the week. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the first hour was genuinely really compelling television.
I really enjoyed it all.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it all. Yeah.
Because I finally watched Impact this week, so Impact's always up there with me. Finally get a chance to watch EC3 do some stuff. Of course, I'm watching Impact again now.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all of this show. There wasn't dull moments.
No, they didn't give you time to breathe. It was like 1990s style wrestling.
It's basically what I said to you early on. It was basically this show is something I haven't seen in a long time since More Attitude, and actually since part of the days of TNA, which is organized chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Organized chaos works great.
Yeah, it's like don't give the viewer a chance to breathe or change the channel, and I think they've done that well. I think so. They opened the show up with Cody's open challenge, and Eddie Kingston was the guy which accepted the challenge. And I've heard the name, I've seen odd bits, didn't really know much about it.
I'm more because I don't know the pack that you sort of roll with, but he's now wrestles with NWA.
Yes, yeah,
I've seen him
on that.
I've been loving him with some of the stuff because I haven't watched NWA in a while now. I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie on that, which is a shame because there's people on there I love, but too much wrestling in a week. He was on there, and the bits that I was watching with him on it, he was really good. It seems like he sort of managed to step his game up in his career now.
Yeah, like I'd seen odd bits of him here and there, but nothing like, consistent. But I
and
think
what you
him coming
saw
out
with him, and what you saw with him on
yeah,
is what he's been doing on
yeah,
NWA, and he stepped his game up. So
yeah, so I mean, like when he came up and cut the promo, he made himself actually seem important and actually seem like a star from the get-go. He wasn't just a random person to be beaten by Cody.
yeah,
He actually was made to look really, really good. And I genuinely really enjoyed the match a lot. The thumbtack spot on an opening match on Dynamite, didn't expect that.
yeah. I thought they weren't doing that kind of shit on
I think TNT
Dynamite.
is, yeah,
According to the owner.
Yeah, I think Tony Khan sort of changed his mind when he realised WWE were coming for their throats.
Or did he change his mind when he realised the fans actually kind of enjoy that?
Yeah, they actually like that shit, and especially when you had two matches back to back, like it. Cody obviously won, but I think Eddie Kingston was great with that. He's not been picked up by AEW. He's not been signed, which is weird because pretty much everyone else that Cody's had these matches with, AEW do immediately sign, and I think he's had the best reaction out of all of them thus far.
Well, yeah. But I think because he's also got a strong obligation with NWA as well, it's a bit.
Yeah, but also the thing is, NWA is gone for the time being. Like we don't know when that's coming back or if it's probably going to come back.
Can't disappear already.
Well, you've got to think Dave Lagana, who was in charge of NWA, quit over the sexual assault allegations. So they don't even have a man leading the show anymore. Which is a shame for them because it was a real cool looking feeling show and gave people opportunities. But
Scott Steiner in charge. He's old enough to be out wising up out there.
Jesus.
He's no on the steroids. Surely he's calmed down now.
Yeah, that's true. We had an MJF versus Griff Garrison match, which was so I liked it because it was just so I felt so bad for Griff Garrison. He was just made to be a little bitch. Oh, it's so funny. MJF is just such a hateable person. It's great. But obviously that was like a squash filler match, really. We then had Taz come out and cut a promo, and I loved this promo so much. I really loved this promo. He sort of explained, Brian Cage gave me a second chance and all that, and like I thought it was great. And they explained about the surgically repaired arm and things. I thought that's perfect. They've given explanation as to why. I loved it. I thought it was great. Taz is so damn good at that. He's like a better Paul Heyman.
Well, yeah, he's really quite good at what he does. Let's be honest. He's got so much good knowledge of the business.
Yeah.
There's one downfall for AEW. They don't quite listen to the people that have been there, God knows how long, done it all, and quite have the information. They've got some very key people there that could take them even further.
Yeah, Jim Ross said exactly that on a podcast this week, where he said that people there don't listen. Those were his actual words. They don't listen to a lot of people, because he said something like how he suggested about tag ropes. AEW doesn't have tag ropes because there's people there which say they're goofy and old-fashioned, and he was like, but tag ropes are just another one of those things which allow heels to break a rule of not holding the thing. It's just another storytelling device, and all it is a bit of string. It doesn't change anything, but it gives the commentators something to shit on the heels about, And he said there's things like that which they just don't listen to people when they suggest things, which is a shame.
I don't understand how, because they're goofy. When you look at any fucking wrestling competition, it's going to have a tag team match. There's some fucking rope there for it.
Yeah. And do you know what,
the actual person they're actually holding it, they may stand next to the fucking rope.
Yeah. It's the point of like, it can be used as a storytelling device if necessary. But then talking about tag team matches, we had a great tag team match in the Falls Count Anywhere match between the Bucks and Butcher and the Blade. I love this. I love the fact that it started backstage and that they were literally just chopping up meat.
The Young Bucks starting to grow on you a bit more, because you're always iffy with them.
Yeah, I've never liked nor disliked the Bucks.
You only ever really gave them time because they were friends with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, like the thing with the Bucks is like whenever I've watched their matches, I've enjoyed their matches, but I've just never got them. If you know what I mean, I've just never understood the gimmick or whatever. It's just it's never really resonated. Over the past, I'd say since January this year, they have grown on me. It's like Cody. Cody was kind of meh to me, and since All In,
I proved you wrong on that one, didn't I?
Yeah,
always argue you over Cody.
Like I didn't like Ring of Honor Cody, New Japan Cody, but then since All In, the original one before AEW, I liked him there, and then since AEW, I've been on board with him. I'm sort of a bit iffy with him now, but Young Bucks are going up in my estimation.
Well, because he's doing a bit of a heelish stuff right now.
Yeah, but he keeps on being like, no, we're not doing heels and baby faces and stuff, and it's like, oh, come on, just shut up.
But you are.
Yeah, you clearly are, you dumbass. But yeah, he tweeted that out literally earlier, just basically being like, no, baby faces and heels are so old fashioned and it's so insulting to the fans. It's like, what? Well, it's like, what?
No, that's how you base it. Your whole thing about it. You're gonna have people that shit on people, and you're gonna have people that want to step up.
Like,
it's called merchandise sales, ain't it?
Look at any film. Batman has his Joker. They have the good guy and the bad guy. It's just booking 101 for fucking anything. So weird. But yeah,
tell you what, I really did enjoy about this show. I finally got to see Eva Liz.
Yeah.
I missed Eva Liz. I love Eva Liz. I loved basically from when I first watched Lucia Underground and saw her and things. I'm not happy that she's not as loud as she was when Lucia Underground went in the ring. And she sort of starts screaming someone down the throat. But...
Yeah, I know she's sort of she's a bit of a sticky subject for AEW as to whether or not they actually pick her up, because she is notoriously a shitty person. So there's it's not gonna, I don't know what they're gonna do with her, because by all accounts lots of people turned off when she came on. So talk of ratings, the Bucks, Butcher and the Blade breached 1 million viewers, done their best viewership since they started essentially, and killed Raw and Smackdown in certain demos, which is a first, which I should imagine is going to be making some people at Titan Tower a bit nervous. When Raw's only getting 1.5 million viewers and AEW can touch the million, I can imagine there's some people there shitting bricks right now. And rightfully so, because AEW deserved it this week. They really did.
What's the bet? You got Vince going, no, don't worry about AEW.
Yeah.
Or he's just yelling abuse at Triple H, even though it's not his fault.
Yeah, why have you not killed that pissant company?
Fair enough. This week they finally kind of did a bit of a subpar show compared to everyone else, but everyone else they've been doing gold.
But yeah, Butcher and Blade, I thought that match was great. I love the little spots with like the food area, the bar area, and then on the escalator. And then there was a really horrible looking spot at one point. I can't remember who jumped outside. I think it may have been, I can't remember if it was Butcher or Blade, where they set a table up outside, and I think it may have been Blade. He jumped out at the Bucks and the table, and he missed everything and just fucking clattered into the floor.
Right out of the two, Blade being the one doing the jumping.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, well, because then Butcher. Yeah, because I think Butcher then jumped the other side through a table for one of the other Bucks, whoever it was. But yeah, I thought there was a real like, and then they finished the match by climbing on top of the stage and jumping off through the tables, which was a great finish. I saw so many people on Twitter being like, you saw the Cody match and in this match being like, were they not aware that the pay-per-view shows were the last 3 weeks? They're running pay-per-view matches basically here on Dynamite, which is great. Like, I'm not complaining about that. But yeah,
you will do when you come to a pay-per-view and they ran out of matches.
Yeah, they've just killed everything. Hangman Page against 5. That was a all right match. It was fine.
Well, to be honest, it was more the interest stuff that happened afterwards. This match.
Yeah. So after the match, Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, they all come out. They've been hinting at it on BTE, about the Dark Order trying to recruit Hangman Page. I don't need that.
That seemed to backfire though this week. I don't think he's going to be going there now.
No, they've been hinting at it for weeks, but it's like just let Paige be Paige.
But at the moment, the thing is how I quite like this storyline is it could be quite an interesting one because I think this is more to break into building the storyline, a tag team championship match between FTR and these guys.
Yeah.
It's just whether they go for the thing of Kenny Omega and Hangman breaking up, or whether they doing that dodgy thing where they sort of save their relationship and carry on. See how it goes. Story goes.
Yeah. I don't mind either way. I'd like for them to break up just so we can get actual singles runs out of both of them.
That's what I said to you last week. I'd love to see them finally go their own way. Yeah. Hangman Page
and becoming Cody the star he deserves to be. Yeah.
Beating the crap out of one another there, and see, let Kenny try and go for that title. Yeah. Well, whether he wins it or not, but you need to start. Let's bring out what we used to be, the world's best fucking wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. It's like let's have Kenny freaking Omega back and let Hangman, as you say, that's the perfect thing. Hangman goes against Cody for the TNT Championship. Kenny goes up against.
The best thing they can do for Hangman, which also help, great thing for AJ with here, become the first Grand Slam champion of AEW. Yeah. Like AJ did for TNA, and it fucking took him even higher.
Yeah, and like he's their talent. He's not Chris Jericho. He's not John Moxley or Hager or whatever. He's their talent. You know, he's a talent which they can build essentially from not nothing, but you know what I mean. From
let's be honest,
not a national audience. Yeah,
people love him. So
yeah. And the show finished with the Jurassic Express versus the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Of course, the match was good, very good.
Well, you can never go along with Jurassic Express. Those two are great talent.
I love them so much. And of course, the big thing...
Inner Circle, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Who cares about the demo god that is Chris Jericho?
I prefer his tag team, if I'm honest. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah. And of course, the bigger thing happened at the end of the match where Serpentico, was that the name? Serpentico took off the mask and revealed to be Sammy Guevara.
Because I generally thought they kept saying Pentagon Jr. I was like, what? I had to rewind the thing because I thought I missed something.
That looks nothing like Pentagon Jr. Yeah. So Pentagon took off the mask and it was, and he said Orange Cassidy then. It was Sammy Guevara. And then Orange Cassidy came out with best friends to make the save at the end.
You know what? I think it would have been a better thing if Orange Cassidy did take off the mask.
That would have been funny, yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought the show was genuinely good. And as you say, it was organised chaos from start to finish. They didn't give you time to breathe. You didn't have a reason to change the channel.
Definitely their best Dynamite they've done from day one. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Which is quite a high bar from their first sort of shows, but yeah, I think you're right. It's like by far the way because you've got character development as well as good matches and storytelling.
Yeah, just say you had bits of everything in it. You weren't bored, you weren't dull. Which unfortunately you can't say about NXT this week. It was good, but it's nowhere near the level they've been putting on for other weeks. You can't put anything away from the talent they had on.
No.
I just didn't felt just drawn that I was keen to everything that was going on.
Yeah, it's just such a shame. It's like I love Keith Lee. I think that was such a bad move having him just drop the title without fighting for it and all that. I don't know. Why have a stipulation uniting the belts 2 weeks ago just to drop 1 2 weeks? I don't know. It just makes no sense. Maybe if you done it in 6 weeks' time.
Try to beat a freaking rival TV show is why they did it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Vincent McMahon told Triple H to do something about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like they actually just booked something solely to go against AEW, and it worked for that 1 week.
Which screwed everything for any storylines they had going at the time. So,
and the funny, and what this goes to prove is it didn't work for them in the long run because they done that, and the next week everyone turned back to AEW. So.
Although I am looking forward to next week, so I'm with Finn Balor's in his triple threat match.
Yeah, it should be
I love the promo he cut on this one, where basically he was like that. Keith Lee was just basically too afraid to put his title on the line against me. Well, he wants to give me an opportunity. I'll take it.
Yeah, it should be good. They also for Dynamite next week. We know we've got Cody versus Warhorse who's coming in, so that should be quite good.
So wait, that's a bit dangerous. It's very close to Warlow.
Yeah, they've announced that one match thus far, which is apparently
coming in dressed like a horse.
Warhorse was actually who everyone expected to be the surprise for this week because it's been rumored for quite a while.
They should also be careful because Hangman Page will hear horse and try and jump on his back.
Try and ride him. Yeah. So SmackDown. What do you think of SmackDown overall?
I actually really did quite enjoy it. This week, their actual opening segments where they did last week, where they had about 10 different people tell me what they're all going to do on the show, and it made me feel like I don't need to watch the show. This time, they made it quite good because it was the two people in the main event quickly just got to say very shortly what I'm going to do, blah, 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 and JBL popped up. So
I was, what the fuck is JBL doing? Yeah, but
let's be honest, JBL's known for his bar fights, and I quite liked his intakes on what was going on in the ring. You know, he's a bellend.
Yeah, so but I was like, okay, that was random, but JBL, it was good. I like the fact that he mentioned the APA and stuff. I thought that was fun. And then the opening like segments and stuff. I really liked the Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross thing. I thought that was great. Nikki Cross once again comes out looking so good every time. She was so good on the mic and such good character. I love it.
I told you. Between her, although they unfortunately Raw sort of slowed Selena Vega rolled down, and if they didn't, things would be so much more better for them probably. Those two have been great. They've probably been two of the best outcoming people for this outbreak. So. Yeah,
exactly. During the no fans era, they've generally been MVPs. Alexa, Nikki, Sasha, and Bayley, all four of them together, they've generally been MVPs. And Nikki has come out of her shell and actually developed as a character. It's great. Yeah, I love that. So we had Nikki beat Alexa, meaning that she's going to go up against
another women's championship next week.
Another women's championship. Yeah, they're throwing the championship matches out there.
But it seems like it's going to be a good week though for the women's wrestling, at least for SmackDown and Raw. Unless NXT suddenly does a women's championship match as well next week.
Yeah, I shouldn't think they will.
Unless Sasha and Bayley go to defend their women's tag team titles on Wednesday.
Wouldn't even surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. We had a squash match between Matt Riddle and Tony Nese, which
confused me because you watch like through the pay-per-view things that they were doing on American Bash. Tony Nese they let win it like on NXT, and they're trying to build a person. Then let's quickly throw him on SmackDown and now kill any momentum we may have just had.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep. Makes as much sense to you as me. And then Miz TV, which I was like, whatever about this one, to be honest. I don't know. Like, I've loved the Miz TVs, but this one was a bit. What I'll say is, I do like the fact that we spoke about it last week about the Naomi thing. About that, I brought up, it'd been trending, give Naomi a chance or that.
I
do like that they acknowledge that.
They actually, they don't really do that.
Normally, they don't acknowledge the real world at all. So I was a bit surprised.
But I quite because it's like the little video thing they did backstage with the Miz and John Morrison. John Morrison's trying to whip his out. Do his tweets to get trending, and Miz is first. I also enjoy it. They're a great comedy duo pair. But at the same time, if you let them be serious, we'll destroy anyone on the show.
I think that's what's kind of starting to annoy me a little bit about the Miz TV things is that they're keeping them as like, I don't know, little comedy figures.
You know what? I think at the moment the reason why they're doing that is because they sort of need that fit-in people that are quite entertaining where people will watch.
Yeah, they've got R-Truth on Raw.
They haven't. I don't think they've quite got things ready, the plan book ready for those two just yet. So we'll keep them there for the fit-in to help bring along better rivals, which I think is great. They're still good for it, and eventually, when their moment comes, it'll be a figure epic. Awesome.
I think the thing which the Miz TV thing which got me was so Naomi hit Lacey Evans and smeared Lacey's lipstick, and she was kind of mad over the lipstick, really. Which
she messed up. She messed up her good looks, especially the amount of lipstick she got on her teeth.
Jesus Christ. And they mentioned the karaoke again. Can we stop mentioning the karaoke, please? Let's forget and pretend it. WWE normally pretends shit doesn't happen. Can this be the one time we fucking pretend something didn't happen, please? Stop bringing it back up. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Probably fine backstage. They're really, really proud, the hierarchies of that.
Oh, you damn well know Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon were pissing themselves at that. Oh, God damn it. And then a random fatal four-way match. Grand Metalik, Shorty G.
Well, just before that, we got something a bit more important. We had that backstage bit with Kofi and Big E.
Oh yeah, sorry, I have that just as my other after this. Yeah,
Kofi is out injured for 6 weeks and has stated that both him and Xavier wanted to go see what he can do single run. He's been there, supported both of them. He was there for everything, put himself aside for them. Let's see what he can do. So,
yes, please. Like, it's so bizarre to me that Big E hasn't been a fucking world champion. It's so weird to me. Like, look at the dude.
You know what? Though? I think he always wants to be aware who does it if you're in the business. But I think he's also loved and enjoyed what he's been doing, and
he's happy. Yeah.
As he said, as a single career person, there's no chance that he'll be able to keep getting his push. Where at least with these guys, he's going to have the big money from flow, and he's always going to be around.
Yeah, they're going to be relevant. Yeah, exactly. Vince McMahon loves them, so they're never going away as New Day. But if we can get a Big E push and have him win a major championship, I'm all for that. As long as they don't turn him.
I'd love to see all three of them get their opportunity, because Xavier was probably the best wrestler out of the three of them.
Yeah, and he's just always...
Let alone the most intelligent one.
Yeah. And he's always just sort of been relegated to the guy in the corner, which is such a shame.
So,
but yeah, no, I'm happy to see that Big E's actually going to get something.
We don't actually know. We don't know what they're doing with him yet.
No,
especially as we still don't know whether the Universal Champion is alive. Well, there's no one mentioned about him on this show.
No,
you just not talk about your main title champion on your show after you may have just killed him.
Well, there was a little bit with Bray. There was a little Firefly Funhouse, which
they spoke about Bray and the thing. No one mentioned Braun freaking Strowman.
Well, they showed
whereabouts.
No, they didn't mention his whereabouts, but they showed the clip of.
Or if he's still got a pulse.
Yeah, they showed the clip of the Swamp match, and that was about as far as it went.
It was a doing Bray Wyatt.
But yeah, we had the Fatal 4-Way match. Graham Metalik defeated Shorty G, Lince Dorado, and Drew
Gulak. It's number one contender shot for the LSC title.
For the US. Yeah,
I loved it because all of a sudden I was like, Shorty G's back.
Yeah, that was so random. I mean, random in the sense of these four people were just so random to be thrown in there. I got to admit, I
looked at him and was like, you stuck a bunch of cruiserweights into the IC title and you haven't balanced out.
Well, do you know what I actually did was I left the room to get a drink, came back, and I thought that 205 Live was back on TV, and I thought, oh no, why have they done this? Why is 205 Live back on? And then I realised AJ was on commentary.
But to be honest, this is probably my second favourite match of the week after the tag team match from AEW. Not only because Shorty G's in it, and I love the man. Yeah. He was robbed of this match, but I will give it to Graham Metallica. He deserved the victory. I'll give it to him. Even though Shorty G did not deserve to be pinned.
No, that was weird. We've never seen Graham Metalik actually get anything, so why not? It's a new match. Why not? We probably know what the end is, but I'm sure him and AJ are going to have a freaking good match.
In this time and age, why not experiment and try new stuff right now?
Yeah, give them
Make new superstars. It's working great for the freaking women's division. Why not try it in the men's?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm all for it. We've got a little Otis and Mandy tease. They're coming back next week, which is I'd forgotten. Genuinely, I'd forgotten about them for a while.
Of course, I've forgotten. I knew they'd be around. Every once in a while, they got a name mentioned somewhere. But as I said earlier on, it's not a bad thing to have them having a short break, because otherwise the thing just gets stale and it's in your face. Although I'd like to know where a certain Sonya is.
Yeah. I don't know.
They were in a rivalry, and she was the better one coming out of the rivalry. I want to know where she is.
Do you know what the problem is right now? It's like so many people either tested positive for COVID or staying home from COVID that people are just disappearing and we have no idea why or where, or or they've got nothing for them. So that's the thing. You don't even know now if they just don't have anything for them or if they got a disease. The show finished with the bar fight between Jeff and Sheamus. What do you think?
Oh, I got a bit worried at the beginning part, but just the camera started to shake. Kind of enjoyed it. I was hoping Sheamus would get at least his head flushed in the toilet.
Yeah, it was. It was fine. It was fine.
It's kind of what it's. Though it's not a bar I'd ever want to go to, as glass breaks without even going near it.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, exactly. If I pick up my glass in a bar, and as I pick it up, my hand moves towards it, it shatters. There's a bit of.
Let's be honest. When you got Jeff Hardy just being pushed across the bar, and as he touches it, it just explodes.
Yeah, they sugar glass, and then they sugar glass.
And then just looking at other bar freaking glass around the thing, it's like this stuff just exploded without anything happening to it. What the fuck?
Yeah. It was fine. It is what it is. It wasn't anything special. Jeff picks up the win with a swanton.
So yeah, to be honest, I was getting a bit nervous that he was going to try and cramp himself up on the very top of the
barrels. Yeah, so did I for a bit. Yeah. But
then I know was happy when I realised when he stood on top of the ladder was like, he couldn't fit at all. I was like, thank God for
that. Yeah, I don't really need to see Jeff Hardy try that right now.
It's not the scene. I just wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't want to see him kill himself on in a fake bar. But other than that, I think that's about it. It was a pretty good week in wrestling, I think.
Are there people start watching Impact? EC3 is back.
Yes, yeah. Impact's building up a hell of a roster. They've got Kurt Hawkins, the former Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers is over there now. They've got Heath Slater's over there. Obviously, EC3's back. Sabin and Shelley.
Well, I love watching the show with Heath Slater. Although you can't call him Heath Slater because when he's he's called Heath.
Oh,
he's
not
not
just called
his
Heath?
last name. Yeah,
okay.
Basically, they did the whole skit with him where he's trying to get into the show, and there's a doorman, the security stopping. They asked him the question of, "What's your name?" Heath. What's your last name? I can't use my last name. I'm not allowed to. It's just Heath.
I like that.
And then at the very end of the show, they finish with actually Heath with Heath. When someone leaves the building, opens the door, and then he sneaks in after because they don't close the door behind. So Heath once again is kind of doing the old kind of thing that he used to do a little bit with WWE, and it was good stuff. So
it was good. Heath Slater got himself over in WWE, so why not? I'm all for that.
I'm sorry, nobody got himself over as well as Zack Ryder did in the WWE.
Yeah,
literally trying to get over a fence and use it as a joke.
Yeah, Zack Ryder, or Matt Cardona, I think is his actual name, his new name. He without him, I've said this before. Without him, I truly believe there's no AEW today, because he changed how wrestlers use social media and set the stage with Long Island Ice Z. He set the stage for BTE and all of them. So I think genuinely he's such a big deal, and he's obviously going to go to AEW at some point. There was a part of me which kind of expected him to be the surprise guest against Cody for the TNT title, and I think that he may still be at some point, because he's good friends with all those guys. So I'm going to assume that he maybe even if it's just a one-off appearance, or whatever. I'm going to assume he's going to go over to AEW at least once. He lives right around the freaking corner from Bailey's place as well. But yeah, I'm going to start watching Impact. I've seen nothing but good things. I watched Slammiversary and I loved Slammiversary. I thought that was an awesome show.
No, unfortunately, I missed Slammiversary. I didn't even realise it was on. I've always loved Slammiversary.
It was so hyped up that I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch Slammiversary. And that's my first Impact I've watched in, God, it must be 5, 6, 7 years. Probably since Bischoff and Hogan were in Impact.
Let's be honest, though, you were never a true fan like I was of Impact or TNA.
No, Impact was never really, or TNA was never really my thing. Like, I saw bits here and there. I watched like when Kurt Angle went over, I started watching it regularly for a little while, but I never really got invested too heavily. But
you should have done that then, because that's when they were full blown attitude era and blood gore and guts were everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they're doing well again, and I'm glad that there's alternative wrestling, because it can only be good, really, if you've got AEW and Impact sort of nipping at the heels of WWE. All for it.
It can only be kind of good for their Impact if you've got WWE and AEW going at it, and next thing you know, you just think past.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week in wrestling. Please head on over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. Head on over and like and subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time for another episode of This Week in Wrestling.